Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Vimoh Live. This is a podcast slash live stream that happens every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Today is Saturday, November 26, 2022, and we are doing our live stream as usual. The topic is an open Q&A question and answer session with people who wish to join. And I have just pinned a link to the top of the chat which has a URL that you can click in order to join the live stream by audio or video. Please note that the conversation is atheism and religion and associated topics, but the podcast is also kind of sort of connected to contemporary Indian issues. Let me know if there is any difference in the video and audio today because I can't shake the feeling that there is something different. This is a new monitor, it is wider than the previous one, and I am looking at everything bigger. So maybe this is just, my perspective, but if the video is okay from your end, I suppose there is no reason to worry. Before I proceed, before I start reading the comments and taking people on screen, I'd like to remind everyone that the channel is monetized. You can support this channel by clicking the join button below and becoming a member of the channel. Alternatively, you can hold on. I always forget to do this. Alternatively, you can support this channel on Patreon by visiting patreon.com/Vimho. There is a monthly scheme and an annual scheme. If you don't want to do either of that, you can simply donate to the channel by going to vimo.stck.me, which is my blog, and hit the support button there. Any amount of your choice is okay. And there is merch also, which you can get at kadakmerch.com/Vimo Live. There are t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. Go over to the site and check it out. And with that, I will start today's live stream. Let me take a look at the comments. Enough, as usual, is the first comment. Says, hey Vimo, it would be great if you bring the socialist YouTuber Hakeem as a guest in this live stream. Same goes for the YouTube channel. Second thought. Both these YouTubers are pretty insightful. Thank you, Anna, for the suggestion. Also, Hakeem and second thought, if you want to come on my live stream, you should feel free to just send me a message or just drop in whenever you want to. Problem here, enough, this is a very small channel. It will take time to grow, and I'm okay with that. When it does grow and people start saying yes to me, I'll bring people. Whoever does say yes to me, I do bring. Some time ago, Professor Dave very graciously agreed. So we shall see. We shall see. Uh, Hi Dheeraj. Hi Prasad. Prasad, I think, is also in the queue. Hi Sarmad. Rusty Razor says, how did you manage to read so many books? How did you start reading these books alongside your previous jobs? These books are things that I have been reading since I was in school, man. Like I have been buying and reading books since I was in in when I was in primary school. Of course, the school library was a good source of books, but occasionally I could buy books. When I was in high school, also library, book fairs, bookshops, just generally also. The neighboring town where I live has a great book fair, so I go there whenever a book fair happens, and I used to buy books. Then I went to bigger cities as part of my job, and there were bookstores there. I bought some of these books there. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आजकल तो ज़्यादातर बुक्स जस्ट अमेज़न से खरीद के पढ़ता हूँ. Chef Meister says, just opened YouTube and saw the stream at the top. I guess God wanted me to see this. Yes, praise God. Rusty says, did you start reading atheism related books after you started watching people like Matt Dillahunty? No, I had read a few before that, but after I started identifying as an atheist, I got more books about atheism and I read them. Right. So let's take Prasad on screen. He's the only one there right now. I'll just remind everyone that if you want to come on screen, you can click the link pinned to the chat. Hi, Prasad.
Hi, Vimoh. Can you hear me?
Hi. What's up?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Huh, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. Hi, Vimoh. Actually, I just discovered your content.
Okay.
I earlier I used to follow Pranav, and then I
Okay.
think there was one debate stream. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was just question and answer stream like this
Okay.
one. So from then on, I also started following you, and I just want to thank you for all the work you do, and it's great,
Thank you.
and I'm
Thank you.
learning so many. So from that stream itself, I have one question, actually two questions.
Okay.
One was, I think someone asked you regarding forming a rationalist group.
Hmm.
So if you remember, it was like I think 1 month back. So
Hmm.
someone asked you regarding if what if you should, I mean, you and Pranav, you guys can form a rationalist group.
Hmm.
So in answer you said that there are of course some benefits and also some downside of it, and
Yeah.
of course there will be no difference as such
Hmm.
between the, say for example, religious groups and rationalist or atheist group.
Hmm.
So I understand your point, but I want to bring you to notice. I mean, you might have already know about it. Dr. Narendra Dabholkar from
Yeah.
Maharashtra.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he fought. I mean, for I don't know, for many years, and
Yeah.
ultimately after his murder, a legislative. The law was brought for the state against malpractices, against superstition, black magic, witchcraft,
Hmm. Hmm.
against godmen, all those things. So, what I want to tell you is, I agree with you that forming a group will make you a target.
Hmm.
That's what has happened, unfortunately,
Hmm.
in case of Narendra Dabholkar.
Yeah.
But we need many Narendra Dabholkars.
Yeah.
You know, we need people like them. I mean, I'm not saying you should be the one who should form a group or something like that, but
Ah.
it should be the way of thinking which Narendra Dabholkar had, so that I'm actually from Maharashtra, so that I can proudly say that we have that scientific temper, we have that law against these practices, so that if tomorrow in my city, if somebody comes up and then he's a god man and he's showing some magic tricks and all those things, I
Hmm.
can go to the police and then make him an arrest. So
Yeah. So
this
I
is
think that one thing that we need to remember is that all the things that you said should happen. I agree that they should happen. But there's a difference in the time of Dr. Dabholkar and now. If he had lived in the present age, I am pretty sure he would have a YouTube channel. No?
uh, yeah. As
Yeah,
an
right?
organization, they still have.
Ye-
They of course have
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
So I think
There are. Yeah. Sorry.
I I think I agree with you when you say that groups should exist. But I'm personally of the opinion that, see, look at it from my point of view. A, of course, there is the risk of what you said happening, and I won't go into it in great detail. But there is also another thing, which is that what is the basis on which this group is going to be made? Because in my experience, if a group is made on the grounds that it's a rationalist group, there will be people in it who are casteist, there will be people in it who are not casteist, there will be people in it who are against god, there will be people in it who are not against god and are simply opposed to superstition. We find there are so many Indian rationalists who are actually theists who believe in god,
Yeah.
but there are also people who oppose superstition and other toxic practices. So my bigger problem is not that a group will make us into a religion. My bigger problem is that I find there to be a lack of tangible foundation on which such a group can be built, because rationalism seems a vague label to me. I make very clear what my position is. Like, I'm an agnostic atheist, I'm a skeptic, I want scientific thinking to be encouraged. But there are also skeptics on the Indian YouTube who are not this, who are, anti theist, who
Yeah.
are people who believe in karma, people who call themselves Hindu atheists. So my bigger problem is that there is no tangible foundation, at least right now. In the West, it is possible to have an atheist organization because the basic rule, not believing in God, is clearly defined. In India, it is harder to define. So I think if there is a group which is devoted to encouragement of scientific thinking, I have no problem with it. बट रैशनलिज्म, एथीइज्म, इसके ऊपर ग्रुप बनेगा कैसे, टिकेगा? एंड आई ऑल्सो डोंट वांट टू बी हेल्ड responsible for other people's opinions, right? Suppose there is a
Yeah.
group that's made and someone says falana person from your organization said this about karma, he believes in karma, how do you defend it? I don't want to defend it. It's his opinion, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is also another problem of mine.
Yeah, I agree with you. But see, even if you, I mean, you already must have some information regarding how even today they are facing many problems.
Yeah,
Anis, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Anushrddha Nirmulan Samiti, they always face criticism from Hindu religion because I mean,
वो तो होगा,
uh,
that's normal,
yeah.
वो तो होगा ही, हाँ.
So and they, I mean, they are always criticized that they are always against Hindu and they won't talk about some other religion. For example, animal sacrifices and done in Muslim religion and all those things
Hmm,
in Islam. So
hmm,
all those things they of course face, but the point is they don't. I mean that's what I understand. They
hmm,
don't. What you can call it? They call themselves as a rationalist, not as a atheist. I mean, in particular, if you're
hmm,
talking
hmm,
about in the recent terms,
hmm.
so they want people to follow their religions. Okay, I mean,
Hmm.
whatever their faith is, but they want to have some scientific temper, including whatever their faith is. I mean, just to have some critical thinking about everything, whatever they are doing in their in their religious life, in that sense. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that allows them to have at least some discussions on the
Yeah.
platform where people can at least can listen to them.
Got
So
it. Got
that
it.
is
They want to build a bridge. They want to build a bridge
yeah, yeah,
between rationality and religious people who have never had any experience of rational thinking. So they want to build a bridge. They will come halfway. They will come halfway, and they will meet in the middle, and some amount of education will be possible. Right?
yeah, yeah. So that is, I think, that is what my
Hmm.
understanding is.
Hmm.
I'm not their member or something like that. That is
Hmm.
what my understanding is. But the point I'm making is, if people like you, I mean, you people, you Pranav and all the, I mean, all those people or who
Hmm.
have what you can call it scientific temper and who can make people think
Hmm.
regarding these issues can also form some group or some community who can bring changes in other states also, like what has happened in Maharashtra. I mean, it's long route ahead. It's not like
Hmm.
it's everything has been done, but
Hmm.
at least there are legislative laws in Bihar, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. What I have just researched,
Hmm.
and the strongest one currently is in Maharashtra only. But
Okay.
there are still many states. There are no laws against black magic, witchcraft, against godmen,
Hmm.
no nothing. So
Yeah.
there is very large gap, and if you want to happen, I mean, if you want some laws against these things, then we need to have some unity, no, because we cannot have
I
because
think
this is
unity.
right that
I find. See, if you're just take Pranav and I as an example, I think we are united, right? There are certain basic things upon which we are united. There are certain things that we also not united on, we disagree on. But I think the larger purpose is served by him doing what he does and I doing and what I do, and we collaborating every once in a while. This is a kind of, so 20, 30, 40 years ago, this was not possible. It was not possible for an individual to have a media presence on their own without relying on mainstream media. But now it is possible. Look at Pranav's channel, how fast it is growing.
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Look at my channel, it's not growing very fast, but still a thing, right? So I
yeah,
think the model that you're referring to, organizing into a group in order to have influence, it's a good model, and whoever wants to follow that model is most welcome to. But I find that in the present day, the model that we have, where he does his thing, I do my thing, and we collaborate at crucial junctures of time and space, is
yeah,
also a good model, and this was not
yeah,
available
of
for
course,
30, 40 years ago. So I am
yeah,
more a subscriber of this model than the previous one.
yeah, I agree
We
because
don't
this
have to
is
become an
also
official group in order to do what we do. That's my point.
yeah, it is also because it is very important to spread awareness, not because only legislation will make changes. We
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
overall awareness in the society also.
Yeah.
So
And
we
as
need
I
to have
said previously, also, you do, you kind of try to bring about change as a humongous group, you become a humongous target.
yeah, exactly. That is
right?
that is what has happened. But see, I mean, he has achieved something.
Who?
Unfortunately, Narendra Dabulkar,
Okay.
because after his murder, ultimately, I think it was in August, and I think in December 2013,
Hmm.
it was brought as a law.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
remember. And I remember
so
the whole, like the whole hullabaloo before it also. So much opposition to it, so many
yeah,
years
yeah.
spent in the effort and all that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember.
Because even in near, I think there was some elections and
Hmm.
some that with the political party which was in power. I don't want
Hmm.
to take the name. Actually, they were supposed to bring it on table, but
Hmm.
only because there was elections were closed, so they didn't bring it. So I mean, it was a
Okay.
different thing.
So, Prasad, I
And
have a couple of people waiting. Did you have one final point to make?
yeah, just for 2 minutes, if it
Okay.
is possible.
Huh.
Uh, Actually, this is regarding Vastu Shastra.
Hmm.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. So it is like it talks about I mean benefits or hazards
Hmm.
of your home, its structure, its orientation, its direction, all those things. Maybe location of window door or something like that on your life overall, but it
Hmm.
affects your life as a whole. I mean, if you are terminally ill, so that can be a cause of something wrong in your home or something like that. So
Yeah.
people, well educated people, believe that.
Hmm.
So uh, what is your take on it? I mean, what if you can make some video about it, some awareness about it? I
I
mean,
mean, there is no reason to think that it has any utility whatsoever, right? The reason people believe in it, people well educated people believe in it, is because I think people are very prone to superstition at two junctures in their life. One, when they're very happy, two, when they're very sad. This is why you find that religion often rides on death, right? Someone
right,
dies, every ritual is religious. There is no way for an atheist, there is no officially recognized way for atheists to deal with death, because you, Christian, Islam, Muslim, Buddhist, जो भी हो तुम, your religion has rites and rituals devoted to how to deal with death. Some people find them useful. Similarly, when someone buys a new house, they're very happy, right?
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
looking at a bright future. They're looking at time, spending time with family.
yeah,
At that time, if someone says we need to sanctify this house, they'll be, yeah, sure, I have money to spare. Let's
yeah.
sanctify this house. Let's build it into something like
They don't want to take
it's
risk.
a yeah. So I find Vastu Shastra to be, for the most part, a harmless superstition. Like, somebody is doing interior decoration. If someone can design a balcony to face the direction of the sunrise, even if it is not Vastu Shastra, it makes design sense, right? You wake up in the morning, you get some light.
No,
But
there
Vastu
are.
Shastra, what it does is it adds a layer of superstition to it. It associates your family's welfare, your illness, etc., with it. As long as someone is not making bad decisions on the basis of Vastu, right? So as long as someone is like, no, I will not go to the hospital to cure my illness. I will simply build a better house. As long as that is not happening, I think it's a harmless superstition. But of course, it can have harm also associated with it. But yeah, that's my position on it.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Thank you,
Cool.
and
Thank you, Prasad.
thanks for your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Right.
So, जब तक प्रसाद था, there were like four people in the queue. Right now, there are like two people. I'll take the next one. Psyduck. Hi, Psyduck. What
Uh,
Pokemon is it?
Hello.
Psyduck. Hi.
Hey, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So actually, I had something to share. Are you familiar with the Abhinandan Sekhri's interview with Suraj Yengde on
No, I have
the
not. I
news
haven't
dot?
seen it. I
So
have
yeah,
no. When did this happen?
I
Is it
think
recent?
few months back. Yeah, yeah, few months back, I guess. I
No,
am
I,
not
I have
sure
completely
exactly.
missed it. I must have completely
Okay,
missed it.
when he launched his book, the Caste Matters book.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, at the end of the interview, something very interesting happened. Basically, what Abhinandan was trying to say at the end of it was,
Hmm.
you're telling me that the caste issue, or everyone's caste, not exactly like the scheduled caste people or anything, the
Hmm.
caste of people is very interwoven into the culture. And I'm by culture I'm not saying just the Hindu festivals or anything, but what we eat, what we dress, where we hang out,
Yeah.
what people. Okay, so at the end of it, if I am coming from a oppressor caste
Hmm.
and all these things are interwoven, so basically what I'm doing right now, or how I'm mobilizing myself in overall life, has caste in it. So
Yeah.
is if everything is problematic, so how do I mobilize myself, or how do I behave in life? And to which actually Suraj gives a very good answer, that that's not my burden to bear. Basically,
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
find out, you have to basically uh, think about it and find out. So
That's true.
on that part, yeah, so on that part I saw a visible existential crisis or existential dread on Abhinandan's face, that he was like, "Ki, how do I function now, because
Hmm.
everything is interwoven, so how do I function?" So my point was, have you experienced that? Because as a Savarna, you have to experience that if you have the understanding of how caste operates.
Yeah.
So if how the caste operates, because usually what I see towards these anti-caste allies, which I think is a actually weird thing to say, but these anti-caste allies usually compartmentalize the issue of caste, that yeah, okay, so we don't have we shouldn't be saying this, we shouldn't be saying that, we shouldn't be anti-reservation or
Hmm.
but being in the public space and saying your things is also basically working on that privilege that you have gotten from the being
Absolutely.
upper
Yeah.
caste, right?
Yeah.
So how do you function? I usually think that why aren't the upper caste people are into extreme existential dread, and how they are not dealing with that? Because usually what I see is people just they compartmentalize that issue and move on with their life.
Hmm.
So I just wanted
What,
to
what,
hear your thought.
what's your
Sorry.
question?
Yeah, my question was, have you experienced that a little?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It,
So
I think the
how do you deal
process
with it?
involves, I don't know if I deal with it very well because, but I have realized that the way to deal with it is to embrace the discomfort. Like whenever you're having a conversation like this, you will experience, I mean, someone like me, basically, let's just use myself as an example because I don't want to ask you about your position on the caste spectrum. Someone like me will be uncomfortable talking about certain things. It is not going to be comfortable to face the fact directly that you belong to an oppressor category or that your ancestors were engaged actively in oppression and that even aspects of your life right now are only in your life because of your caste privilege. So
Correct.
most people double back down on the नहीं नहीं मैं तो casteist नहीं हूँ वगैरह वगैरह. We have to
Yeah.
embrace the discomfort and then see what lies beyond it. For example, like the interview that you're referring to, I have not seen it, so I will not comment on it because I don't know what happened in the interview, honestly. So I'll
Okay.
just make it about the fact that, in my opinion, if an so-called anti-caste ally wants to be useful in the anti-caste war, they have to realize that the burden of educating them is not on the oppressed people. They are
Correct.
they are putting out ample amounts of literature. They are putting out a lot of lived experience as social media posts, as books, as movies, as documentaries, as videos, as podcasts. It is our job to go study it and build our own understanding. Because after someone has gone through centuries of oppression, to now be put in a position of teacher कि मुझे बताओ ऑपरेशन क्या होता है क्योंकि मुझे ऑपरेशन का मतलब ही नहीं पता क्योंकि मैं एक ऑपरेसर बैकग्राउंड से आता हूँ इज अनदर काइंड ऑफ नहीं तुम लोग मेहनत करो मुझे समझाने के लिए.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct.
that should be avoided, I think. And as I said, when you avoid it, uh, when instead of going to one person and saying explain this to me, you go to 10 people and just study their work in silence and understand where you stand in the power structure of your country, it's not going to be easy. The trick is to embrace the discomfort.
Correct. 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 And the second question regarding to that. what I had was after actually reading about it and being educated regarding the caste issue.
Hmm.
There are few things that I was enjoying in my life past this, because I actually like it had a part in creating my like personality as well. But after seeing that through the lens of caste, you see how much problematic shit was being basically peddled through it. So
Yeah.
I had
And
yeah,
is, by the
so
way, I think a temptation is to say it was happening. It is happening.
it is happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
It's happening on
So
all our homes. Jasmine, by the way, in the chat has pointed out a very good point. She has said that they have said the best thing privileged caste folks can do is to raise the issue in privileged caste public spheres, like family gatherings, etc.
correct. So my question was, is there an example for in your life that you were keeping someone on very high regard, but after after being more educated regarding these issues, you kind of distance yourself from it,
Hmm. No, it
like
has not
any
happened with
writer
respect
or
to.
anything?
Huh, so I have had uh, like so the best way to put this is not that I used to love someone absolutely and now I hate them absolutely. The thing that has happened is that a lot of people who I used to think of as authorities, now I don't think of them as authorities. They might still serve in some capacity as good gateway drugs, or sorry, not gateway drugs, as good gateway literature into the larger anti-caste literature world. But I won't take any names, sorry. But
Okay.
yeah, there have been a bunch of people whose work I have begun to take with a pinch of salt. Like, पहले उनका काम पढ़ता था तो लगता था, "अरे वाह, क्या लिखा है." Now I'm
Hmm.
like able to look at it through the lens of all the other things that I've read, and sometimes it becomes clear that even they are coming through some kind of they are looking at the issue through some kind of caste lens. Like a couple of days ago, there was this interview between conversation between some politician and some baba ji, and the politician said, uh, despite being a brahmin, he has completely rejected caste, and the man is sitting there wearing a janeu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
know
if you
who
have
we're
seen that
talking
one.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah.
who we are talking about.
So
Yeah,
it does not occur to a lot of us that very mundane, basic, everyday things are casteist. And this is not even a mundane
correct.
mystery, right? It's a
Yeah,
janeu. It's
exactly.
it's quite possibly the most recognizable symbol of caste privilege. The man is
Yeah,
wearing it, sitting there, and he's being praised as someone who has rejected caste.
correct. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sadak. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye bye.
Next is Arjun. Hi, Arjun.
हाय प्रणाम
Hi, I'm not
आज
Pranav, I'm Vimoh.
हाँ, अरे प्रणाम कह रहा हूँ प्रणाम
Oh, pranam karo. Acha, okay.
अच्छा आज डिबेट हो सकती है शायद जो आज मैं टॉपिक लेकर आया हूँ तो मैं
Bolo.
मतलब इस पर मैंने काफी सोचा मैंने ये टॉपिक वो है जो राजेंद्र पाल गौतम जी ने 22 प्रतिज्ञाएं ली थी और उस पर
Hmm.
मैंने एक बात की थी लेकिन ये थोड़ा सा अलग है इससे इसी से
Hmm.
रिलेटेड है पर अलग है थोड़ा सा
Okay.
तो इस पर मैंने मतलब काफी अभिषार शर्मा को देखा फिर न्यूज लॉन्ड्री देखी और सत्य हिंदी भी देखा फिर सब अलग अलग मैंने सुना फिर मैंने काफी सोचा इस बारे में कि
Hmm.
सही था गलत था मतलब राजेंद्र पाल गौतम जी ने 22 प्रतिज्ञाएं ली ये गलत नहीं है लेकिन वो एक पॉलिटिशियन है ठीक है तो मेरा ये मानना है कि कोई भी व्यक्ति जो पॉलिटिक्स में आता है क्योंकि हमारा जो इंडिया का जो सेक्युलरिज्म है
Hmm.
वो अभी फ्रेंच वाला नहीं है हमारा यहाँ पे सर्वधर्म संभाव है भले ही हम अच्छा नहीं लगता हो हमें
Hmm.
लेकिन वो वो सच्चाई है इंडिया के सेक्युलरिज्म की तो अभी जैसे नूपुर शर्मा है
Hmm.
उन्होंने इस्लाम के ऊपर कमेंट किया अब उनका कंटेंट भले ही सही हो
Hmm.
लेकिन उनका इंटेंशन गलत था तो
Hmm.
उन्हें 295 है या उसको लगाने की बातचीत हुई तो सेम लॉजिक से राजेंद्र पाल गौतम जी की जो 22 प्रतिज्ञा है उसमें ये 22 प्रतिज्ञाओं में ये भी है कि हिंदुइज्म समाज के लिए खतरनाक है तो क्या ये भी सेक्युलरिज्म के अगेंस्ट नहीं
कौन सा
है
वाला प्रतिज्ञा था ये?
22 प्रतिज्ञाओं में ये आता है ना
हाँ, कौन सा वाला है ये? 22वां है, 10वां है, कौन सा नंबर क्या
हाँ
है?
ये तो याद नहीं है सातवां आठवां होगा शायद
I don't remember this one, so let me just try to read it. Hold
हाँ
on.
चेक कर सकते हैं आप
Ka. 22 प्रतिज्ञा
और हाँ, वैसे
कौन सा
उन्होंने
वाला है?
लॉजिक
कौन
ये
सा
दिया
वाला है? कौन सा वाला है?
8वां 9वां देखिए ना।
8वां 9वां नहीं, 8वां 9वां वो नहीं है। 8वां है मैं ब्राह्मणों द्वारा निष्पादित होने वाले किसी भी समारोह को
अच्छा
स्वीकार
रुकिए,
नहीं
मैं
करूंगा।
मैं मैं इसमें
9वां
क्लियर
है
दिखा
मैं
रहा
मनुष्य की समानता में विश्वास करता हूँ। हाँ,
हूँ। 22
19वां
प्रतिज्ञा।
है 19वां
हाँ,
है मैं हिंदू धर्म का
19वां,
त्याग
ठीक
करता
है।
हूँ जो मानवता के लिए हानिकारक है और उन्नति और मानवता
ठीक।
के विकास में बाधक है,
हम्म।
क्योंकि यह असमानता पर आधारित है, और स्वधर्म के रूप में
हम्म।
बौद्ध धर्म को अपनाता हूँ। ओके, सो आपको इस
हम्म।
वाले से प्रॉब्लम है? क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
हाँ, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मतलब वैसे कोई भी जैसे वीमो अगर ये बात कहता है तो ठीक है।
हम्म हम्म
ये बात कह रहे कोई भी सोशल एक्टिविस्ट कहता है, सोसाइटी का या प्रोफेसर कहता है, जो भी
हम्म
उनके विचार है। लेकिन एक प्रधानमंत्री मान लीजिए ये बात कहता है, कल को राजेंद्र पाल गौतम जी प्रधानमंत्री बनते हैं और फिर वो
हम्म
ये बात कहते हैं, तो क्या ये
हम्म
सेक्युलरिज्म का जो हमारा थॉट है, जो हमारा सर्वधर्म संभव है, वो
हम्म
कल्चर के साथ ये
पर
कंसिस्टेंट
राजेंद्र
नहीं
पाल
है ना।
गौतम जी ने अपने मंत्री पद को तो त्याग दिया था ना।
हाँ
अब वो
हाँ, वो
सिर्फ एक
त्याग दिया था।
राजनीतिक दल के हिस्सा हैं,
हम्म।
पर अब वो मंत्री नहीं है, तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है
हाँ,
शायद।
लेकिन उसको क्रिटिसाइज किया गया था ना, अभिषाद शर्मा हो या न्यूज लॉन्ड्री हो, सत्य हिंदी हो या
मैंने
फिर।
देखिए देखिए मैं
हाँ।
अभिसार शर्मा, न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री या सत्य हिंदी के परिप्रेक्ष्य से नहीं बोल सकता, मैं अपने परिप्रेक्ष्य से
हाँ,
बोल सकता
अच्छा
हूँ।
आप अपने, हाँ
आपका
तो आप
ऑब्जेक्शन
सहमत
था
हो मतलब।
आपका ऑब्जेक्शन था कि एक मंत्री को यही नहीं बोलना चाहिए, और मैं कह रहा हूँ
हाँ
कि ये ऑब्जेक्शन मतलब पॉइंटलेस है, क्योंकि वो मंत्री है नहीं अब। सो प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
हाँ, ठीक है। नहीं मतलब वही ना, उसको जो क्रिटिसाइज किया जा रहा था, तो
हम्म
मुझे लग रहा था कि ये भले ही इसका वो उद्देश्य गलत था क्योंकि हिंदुत्व के दबाव में वो लिया गया था,
हम्म
लेकिन हुआ सही था, जस्टिस हुआ था। लेकिन भले
क्या?
ही उसका
किस
इंटेंशन
चीज़
गलत
की
था
बात
वो
कर रहे
होने,
हो? किस चीज़ की
मतलब उनका
जस्टिस की बात कर
मंत्री
रहे हो?
पद का त्याग देना, मंत्री पद का त्याग देना ये ठीक था। सोशल एक्टिविस्ट की तरह उनने
मैं उसको
काम करना
मैं
चाहिए।
उसको ना ठीक कह रहा हूँ ना गलत कह रहा हूँ, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि
अच्छा।
ये ऑब्जेक्शन पॉइंटलेस है, क्योंकि वो मंत्री है ही नहीं, बस।
हाँ, अच्छा कल को मान लीजिए एक हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन में कल को अगर ये बात कहता है कोई प्रधानमंत्री, अगर मान लीजिए 22
हम्म
प्रतिज्ञाएं लेता है, तो उसको आप क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे या उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे? कोई भी कल्चर हो, इस्लाम हो, क्रिश्चियनिटी हो, कोई भी
नहीं,
हो।
जब कोई भारत सरकार का हिस्सा बनता है या कोई किसी
हम्म।
राजनीतिक दल का हिस्सा होता है और कहता है कि मुझे सपोर्ट करो, मैं लोगों के लिए काम करूँगा, तो वो कहता है मैं लोगों के
हाँ।
लिए काम करूँगा। नाउ
हम्म।
वो पहली बात है। दूसरी बात ये है कि किसी धर्म को रिजेक्ट करना, किसी धर्म को एक्सेप्ट करना लोगों के लिए काम करने के रास्ते में नहीं आना चाहिए। क्योंकि कोई ये कह
हम्म।
सकता है कि मुझे ये धर्म पसंद नहीं है, पर उसका मतलब ये नहीं
हम्म।
है कि वो कह रहा है कि इस धर्म को फ़ॉलो करने वालों को से मैं नफ़रत करता हूँ। है ना?
हाँ हाँ।
एक धर्म को रिजेक्ट किया जा सकता है। दैट डज़न्ट
हम्म।
मैटर एज़ लॉन्ग एज़ ही स्टिल वर्क्स फॉर एवरीवन, एज़ लॉन्ग एज़ ही, शी, दे, हूएवर दे
हम्म।
आर, जब तक वो सबके लिए काम कर रहे हैं, तब तक उनका किसी धर्म को पसंद करना, ना करना, इट्स द पॉइंट इज़ मूट, इट डज़न्ट
हम्म।
मैटर। बाय द वे, आपने नूपुर शर्मा की बात की, मेरा मत ये
हम्म।
भी है कि उनके ऊपर वो धाराएँ लगनी नहीं चाहिए। मैं आपसे सहमत हूँ कि उनका टोन गलत था, उनका इंटेंशन गलत था, पर उन्होंने जो किया मैं उसको गलत नहीं मानता।
अच्छा, पर नहीं नहीं, पर मैं तो यहाँ पर आपसे अलग ओपिनियन रखता हूँ। मैं मानता हूँ नुपुर शर्मा को भी निकालना ठीक ही था, क्योंकि जो बाहर अरब वगैरह में जो बॉयकॉट हो रहा था इंडिया का, तो मुझे
हुँ।
लग रहा था कि अभी हम फ्रेंच लेवल पर हम तैयार नहीं है सेक्युलरिज्म को अपनाने के लिए। नहीं तो जो बॉयकॉट हो रहा था तो
नहीं, हम
इकोनॉमिक
फ्रेंच लेवल पे
इम्पैक्ट।
तो हो नहीं सकते ना, फ्रेंच लेवल पे हम
हाँ।
लोग हो भी नहीं सकते, क्योंकि हम फ्रांस नहीं है। फ्रांस का
हाँ,
जो
मतलब बनना तो वही
फ्रांस का
है
जो
धीरे
कल्चर
धीरे।
है, वो फ्रांस के इतिहास की देन है। हमारा जो कल्चर है, वो
हाँ।
हमारे इतिहास की देन है, और हम किसी दूसरे देश के प्रेज़ेंट डे कल्चर को उठा के सीधा हमारे देश पे अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते।
नहीं, वो स्लो प्रोसेस है, कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है, स्लो है। वो धीरे
हुँ,
धीरे हम रैशनल बनेंगे तो वो सेक्युलरिज्म भी उसी डायरेक्शन में जाएगा जिस डायरेक्शन में
बिल्कुल,
फ्रांस
बिल्कुल।
का गया। हाँ।
पर कल्चर बदलता
तो
है ना, हमारा
हाँ,
जब
पर
हमारा
अभी हम
कल्चर
उसके लिए
वैसा होगा,
तैयार नहीं है।
जब हमारा कल्चर वैसा होगा, तब हम उसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं। इस समय उसके बारे में बात करना,
हुँ।
आई डोंट थिंक इट
हाँ,
मेक्स एनी
जैसे
सेंस।
अगर आप कहें कि नुपुर शर्मा को निकालना गलत था, तो फिर राजेंद्र
हुँ।
पाल जी को निकालना भी गलत था।
नहीं, नहीं, नुपुर
लेकिन
शर्मा को
नुपुर,
निकालना
हाँ,
गलत नहीं था। नुपुर शर्मा के
अच्छा,
खिलाफ जो कानूनी कार्रवाई हुई, वो गलत थी। पार्टी से
वो गलत।
निकालना पार्टी का डिसीजन है।
अच्छा, पार्टी का डिसीजन।
हाँ,
तो मतलब आप उसकी तरफ मतलब उस पार्टी में होते या उसको लीड कर रहे होते,
मैं
तो
उस
फिर
पार्टी में
आप
कभी भी
मतलब
मैं
निकाल
उस पार्टी में नहीं होता। मैं उस पार्टी में नहीं होता।
सकते।
मैं उस पार्टी
अच्छा,
जैसी
ठीक है।
विचारधारा में से होकर गुज़र चुका हूँ। मुझे पता है वहाँ प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं,
अच्छा,
और मैं वहाँ शायद कभी वापस नहीं जाऊँगा।
ठीक है। अच्छा, एक चीज़ और ये थी कि मतलब मैंने जितना भी देखा है, राजेंद्र पाल गौतम जी भी महर्षि वाल्मीकि जयंती मनाते हैं और
हुँ,
जितने भी जो भीम आर्मी है वो भी मनाती है। और वाल्मीकि जी ने रामायण लिखी है। तो ये मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता कि मतलब रामायण का क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं लेकिन वाल्मीकि जयंती मनाते हैं, तो ये मतलब पैराडॉक्सियल मेरे को लगता है। तो इस पर
नहीं,
आप क्या मतलब?
पैराडॉक्सिकल नहीं है। वाल्मीकि मतलब अगर आप हिंदू मिथक के हिसाब से जाएं, वाल्मीकि दस्यु रत्नाकर नाम के कोई व्यक्ति थे जिनका हृदय परिवर्तन हुआ, उन्होंने रामायण की रचना की और वो फिर अ, एक मतलब कवि के रूप में पहचाने गए और उनको आज तक वैसी रेस्पेक्ट मिलती है। पर भारत में अब भी वाल्मीकि एक जाति आइडेंटिटी है और वाल्मीकि जाति के लोग प्रताड़ित ग्रुप्स में आते हैं। और अगर कोई व्यक्ति अपने आप को, ऐसे कई दलित बहुजन आदिवासी लोग हैं जो अपने आप को हिंदू कहते हैं और ऐसे कई दलित बहुजन आदिवासी लोग हैं जो अपने आप को हिंदू कभी भी नहीं कहेंगे। सो मुझे इसमें पैराडॉक्स नहीं लगता। वाल्मीकि जयंती को मनाना, जैसे ऐसे हिंदू भी हैं ना जो कहते हैं कि बुद्ध तो हिंदू धर्म का हिस्सा है, पर अगर उनके विचार को हम डिफ़ॉल्ट मान लें, तो उसके हिसाब से ऐसा कोई भी व्यक्ति जो बुद्ध को पूजता है या गुरु मानता है, वो तो फिर आप उसको पैराडॉक्स कहेंगे। पर वो पैराडॉक्स कहाँ से हुआ? वो डिपेंड करता है, आपके परिप्रेक्ष्य पे डिपेंड करता है, आप किस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देख रहे हैं उसको।
मैं समझ नहीं पाया वैसे ये,
मैं
मतलब
कह रहा हूँ कि एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है हिंदू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। हिंदू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से
अच्छा।
वाल्मीकि एक हिंदू सेज हैं, राइट? हिंदू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बुद्ध विष्णु के 9वें अवतार हैं, राइट?
हाँ।
अब उस पूरे का पूरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को उठा के बाहर रख दो और जो दलित बहुजन आदिवासी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, उससे इन दोनों को देखो। दलित बहुजन आदिवासी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वाल्मीकि एक हिस्टोरिकल फिगर हैं जिनको
हिस्टोरिकल फिगर।
ये लोग रेस्पेक्ट देते हैं क्योंकि वो वाल्मीकि समुदाय से आते हैं।
अच्छा, मतलब वो
और
वाल्मीकि समुदाय से आते हैं इसलिए रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं।
हाँ,
लेकिन फिर वो
इसलिए
महर्षि
नहीं
भी
क्योंकि
लगाते हैं
उन्होंने
ना
रामायण
जैसे।
लिखी थी।
अच्छा, हाँ हाँ, लेकिन
या
फिर महर्षि भी लगाते तो महर्षि तो
वो तो
वैदिक
खैर
कल्चर है।
ऑनोरिफिक है ना,
अच्छा।
मतलब जी जैसे बोलते हैं, सर बोलते हैं, चार बंदे
अच्छा।
खड़े थे बोलते हैं, ये तो भाषा के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पॉइंट से।
हाँ वैसे, लेकिन ये मुझे लगता है कि वैसे महर्षि वाल्मीकि ठीक है, उनका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू तो ठीक है, पर
हम्म
हिस्ट्री के हिसाब से मैंने इसमें पढ़ने की कोशिश की थी वाल्मीकि सेक्ट के बारे में। तो ये पुराना
हम्म
एक सेक्ट था, मतलब कास्ट नहीं
हम्म
थी पहले, ये
हम्म
सेक्ट था और एक रिलीजन की तरह, जैसा कोई पंथ था, और फिर वो धीरे धीरे कास्ट में बदल गया। और रामायण भी इसी सेक्ट में लिखी गई है मेरे हिसाब से। फिर बाद
हो
में वो
सकता है,
ब्राह्मण
हो
ने
सकता है।
उसको अपने हिसाब से।
मुझे उसके बारे में बहुत
हम्म।
डिटेल में नॉलेज नहीं है, सो मैं उसके ऊपर कमेंट करने से बचूंगा।
हाँ ठीक है, ठीक है।
अर्जुन,
अच्छा, तो
बहुत सारे
फिर
लोग
आप
वेट
ये,
कर रहे हैं। मैं
हाँ बस
आपका
एक चीज
आखिरी
और
पॉइंट,
मुझे
हाँ,
बता दीजिए।
आखिरी पॉइंट
हाँ
आपका।
आखिरी पॉइंट, कि ये जो सर्वधर्म संभाव है, ये अभी ठीक है या फिर हमें इसको हटा देना चाहिए, ये
नहीं, क्यों
सेक्युलरिज्म
हटाना
का
चाहिए? क्यों हटाना चाहिए?
नहीं, आपने ये कहा था ना जो नुपुर शर्मा पर, जब आपने कहा था कार्रवाई करना गलत है, तो आर्टिकल 295 पे तो 295 तो कहता है ना कि कार्रवाई कर
अच्छा, नहीं,
सकते
हाँ,
हैं
आप ये कह रहे हैं कि रिलीजियस
अगर
सेंटिमेंट्स को हर्ट करने वाला जो
हर्ट करना,
क्लॉज है,
ब्लैस्फेमी लॉज वगैरह वो सब।
या
हाँ।
नहीं, मुझे उससे प्रॉब्लम है। मैंने इसके ऊपर इस चैनल पे वीडियोस बनाए हैं। अगर आप इस चैनल के मेन पेज पे जाएंगे और वो सर्च बार पे क्लिक
हम्म
करके ब्लास्फेमी टाइप करेंगे, तो आपको मिल जाएंगे बहुत सारे वीडियोस। आप उसमें मेरे ओपिनियन देख सकते हैं। मुझे ब्लास्फेमी लॉ से बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है। मुझे नहीं लगता ब्लास्फेमी
हम्म
लॉ किसी भी मॉडर्न सेक्युलर डेमोक्रेसी के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में होना चाहिए।
हम्म, ठीक है, थैंक यू।
ठीक है, थैंक यू अर्जुन। ये अर्जुन ही थे ना? राइट, नेक्स्ट इज मिस्टर एक्स। हाय मिस्टर एक्स।
Hi Vimoh, how are you?
आई कांट हियर यू मिस्टर एक्स।
One second, give me a sec, sorry.
Your voice is
Sorry,
very low, as if you're whispering.
एक सेकंड दीजिए, सॉरी. Hello, hello, check, 1 2 3.
हाँ, या
Sorry.
दिस इज गुड, गो ऑन।
Okay, hi Vimoh, कैसे हैं आप?
अच्छा, बताइए।
Vimoh, मैं actually आपका opinion जानना चाह रहा था. I wanted to know what you feel about the whole reject modernity and embrace masculinity rabbit hole.
रिजेक्ट मैटर्निटी?
Reject modernity and embrace
हाँ,
masculinity. So there's a community on YouTube जो कि videos बनाते हैं where they feel that modernity is a problem and masculinity needs to be rejected. In simple words, they have a problem with modernity and they are conservatives.
so
Okay,
modernity and
like
masculinity don't make a true dichotomy, do they?
they definitely don't, but
Yeah.
I feel from what I understand, their point is the conservative approach of genders. According to the videos that I see, the conservative approach towards genders is what they want to embrace against
Hmm.
our modern, the urban modern understanding, where we don't really push towards assigning gender roles, or
Hmm.
we don't even push a lot towards identifying genders, like
Hmm.
मतलब ये औरत है, ये मर्द है,
Hmm. Hmm.
ये डिफरेंस है. So
Got it.
like आपको, अच्छा हाँ, तो like are you aware about this whole community going on?
इंसेल कम्युनिटी में 50 तरह की डाइवर्सिटी है, मुझे पता है. दिस पर्टिकुलर फ्लेवर ऑफ द आइसक्रीम आई हैड नेवर हर्ड ऑफ. बट माय पॉइंट इज दैट मॉडर्निटी और मैस्कुलिनिटी एक दूसरे से अपोज नहीं है. यू कैन बी मॉडर्न एंड मैस्कुलिन, और यू कैन बी रिग्रेसिव एंड नॉट मैस्कुलिन. उसमें उसका मतलब आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दिस. इफ दे आर ट्राइंग टू फ्रेम इट एज दिस, देन ऑफ कोर्स
They
इट्स अ
are
रॉन्ग
actually.
फ्रेमिंग. इट्स अ रॉन्ग
Yes,
फ्रेमिंग.
exactly.
इट्स अ रॉन्ग फ्रेमिंग.
Exactly. That's what I feel, because I was actually trying to get start working out recently. So workout videos से मतलब होता है ना, एक जगह that leads you to another point, that leads you to another one.
एल्गोरिथम आपको खींच के वहां ले गया.
हाँ.
अच्छा अच्छा.
हाँ, the algorithm चालू हुआ था like healthy, nice videos, and then eventually I ended up, I ended up in this entire thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, my second question would be, I think Pranav has already made a video on this. That's a brilliant video.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your opinion about the whole alpha sigma male grind set?
I'm pretty much in complete agreement with Pranav's video. It's a nonsense category. Alphas don't exist.
They
The
don't.
idea of alpha males itself is a result of faulty research that the researcher himself has disowned by now. It's completely pointless. Alpha males do not exist. It's a completely nonsense category. If someone is looking for biological justification of patriarchal institutions, they can find a bunch of stuff. But in much the same way, we can also find bonobos and other animal species with whom we have a
True.
great amount of genetic similarity. There is a species called Japanese macaque. It's a species of ape. They're completely maternal. What's it called? Matriarchal.
Yeah.
Bonobos are matriarchal. There is
Yes.
it's a slippery slope to use biological justifications taken from the animal kingdom to
True
justify
that.
human gender-based behavioral patterns. So I'm completely
True.
in agreement with whatever Pranav has made. It's not new. It's been known for quite some time, and people laugh at this. I hope more young people reject this nonsense for what it is.
I swear, because I
Yeah,
actually because from what I understand reading the comments, a lot of these guys that follow, they are very young
yeah,
men
yeah.
who are
Very
insecure, who have
emotional. Very emotional.
insecurities, very very emotional, and a lot of times they probably don't have a lot going on for them, so they find comfort in
Hmm.
building a community around this. So I just hope that this does not lead into something bigger than it has to be.
Yeah.
True. That's pretty much it. Thank you for your opinion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. X.
See ya. Bye.
Bye bye. Milind Sonone, thank you for the 200 rupees super chat. Much appreciated, sir. I'll just remind everyone that if you want to support the channel, you can send a super chat like Milind just did, or become a member of the channel by clicking the join button. This is a podcast that happens on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9:30 p.m. You may also be listening to this as audio on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Ghana.com, JioSavan, etc. If you are, कभी तो कुछ दिन तो गुजारो YouTube पे. Come join the next live stream whenever you can. The next caller is, hold on, private chat. Appu is in queue, but Appu, there are three people before you. If you can wait, wait, but it's going to take some time. There are like 5 people. There is Harish, Danish, Rajat, Appu, Amber, then Shubham. So if anyone is impatient, maybe you should leave. If you can wait, please wait, but I'm going to go by sequence. Hi, Harish.
Hi, Vimoh. Am I audible?
Hello. Yes, you're audible. Go on.
Thanks for adding me. I am a first-time caller, but I have
Okay.
been following you for a long time. I have been part of your live stream and chats. Uh,
Okay.
I
Thanks, man.
I saw your yeah I saw your title as a debate and a discussion, but I possibly cannot debate with you because I agree with you on most
Hmm.
of the things. So I
No, it's a
wanted
debate
to
slash discussion. If someone wants to debate, the
yeah
debate stream is
right
open.
right
If
right.
someone wants to just discuss or talk, that's also okay.
Yes, yes,
The podcast is
yes.
basically for conversations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share a few thoughts which I always wanted to with you.
Hmm.
And the thing is, I am also a person who stammers. Okay, I don't know if it is obvious. I'm a person who stammers.
A person
Okay,
who is?
stammers. हकलात
Acha, okay,
हकलाता
okay,
हूँ.
stammers. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
hadn't picked up on it.
And
You're speaking quite smoothly right now.
okay, fine. And what happened was that in in 2009, I
Hmm.
came across this group which is called the Indian Stammering Association, and it was
They,
about the other people who stammer trying to help the others who
hmm,
into dealing with the common issues. Okay,
hmm,
the Indian Stammering Association.
hmm.
And when I became a part of this, I thought that this is like homecoming. Okay, it is like
Okay,
there are many people who used to face the same problem like me, and now I can also relate to this. Okay,
okay,
uh, the same kind of feeling I got when I started following Pranav and Vimoh and your live streams. Okay,
okay.
because I thought that I used to uh, be the only one or maybe a few who who is dealing with this kind of problems. Like for example, trying to conform with the, with the society. Okay, that trying to appear uh, that I believe in God.
Hmm,
Go to the temple and fold my hands just to make the make my family happy. All right.
hmm,
So
hmm.
and also I used to always procrastinate about uh, this world, this ideal world with no religion. Okay, and
Okay,
when I saw your streams, I thought that it is a very normal belief in the atheist world that many people also think about this. So I really like this whole ecosystem,
hmm,
right? But in case of my stammering issue, what I learned was that I was trying to be fluent. I was trying to hide my stammer. I was trying to be fluent. It was
hmm.
not difficult. Okay,
Okay,
it was not. I mean, it was difficult because trying to being a stammerer, you're trying to be fluent is not easy. Okay, but
okay.
being an atheist, trying to show that you believe in God was easy. And now, when I come across this ecosystem, I am not sure that okay, I can embrace my stammering, but can I embrace my atheism?
Hmm,
Probably I might have to still continue with this life of uh, being in uh, being in a conformity with this society. And maybe I cannot talk freely about atheism because religion is so much ingrained everywhere. This is the
no, I
thought
don't
I
think.
am getting.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure, sure.
I don't think you should let stammering get in the way of talking about atheism. If it is not getting in the way of you calling here and talking, if it is not getting in the way of anything else, why would it be a
Mm.
hindrance talking about atheism? Is there a specific reason for it?
No, I am not trying to relate stammering and atheism.
Okay.
It is the only thing is that the kind of the common feeling I got when I came across uh, uh, this podcast and live streams, right?
Okay. Okay.
That it is like a homecoming feeling. I got this I got the same vibes here as well. But now what I feel is that can I from here can I start embracing that I am a atheist. Can
Yeah.
I do it publicly?
Hmm.
Uh, I was just saying that no, maybe not. Maybe I cannot do it because it might not be appreciated or it might lead to a lot of debates with my friends or relatives or acquaintances. Maybe I will keep on have to explaining myself. So I think
Hmm.
maybe it is better to live a life of conformity,
Hmm.
and because I know what my beliefs are, why should I explain it to others?
Yeah. Exactly. That's great,
So
Harish. That's great. I'm glad that you came to that conclusion, and I'm glad that my content and Pranav's content has helped you at least in some way.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you
Did you
so
have
much for
anything
that.
else to add?
Just one more question I had.
Mm-hmm.
I also had this. I also had asked this in the live chat.
Okay.
About spirituality. Okay.
Hmm.
So spirituality, what I think is uh, is like it is nothing but psychology, because uh, I've read this book, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, okay, by Eckhart Tolle. In
Mm-hmm.
that book, he mentions about he mentions at many occasions about God. Okay,
Hmm.
I used to wonder what does he mean by this God. Okay,
Yeah.
then I realized while I was reading the book that he was mentioning this God as a feeling or in a state of trance in which you are in
Hmm.
deep meditation, and
Hmm.
then there is no single thought in your mind. That
Hmm.
is God, is what he is trying to say. So and
Okay.
this so in the end it boils down to meditation,
Hmm.
and meditation is often used to deal with your stress or your all kinds of psychological issues which you
Hmm.
deal with, right? Depression, stress,
Hmm.
anxiety, all these kind of things. So I think maybe I saw some kind of correlation between this spiritualism, because he is was talking about spirituality in that book. He was
Yeah. So
talking about,
the
yeah.
I think there is a problem with using the word God to refer to the state that people reach after meditation, because the word God already has a meaning, right? Like,
Hmm.
for example, the state that you reach after meditation can be referred to in many ways, and it doesn't have to be religious. And it's like, there's a conversation in society about whether we should ban guns, right? And someone says,
Hmm.
when I meditate, I reach a state that can only be described as gun. Now, what
Okay.
does that do? It does two things. A, it confuses the hell out of people, because how will you meditate and reach gun? B, people who are in favor of guns continuing in society will say, see, guns are a fundamental property of nature. You can't do away with it. So the word God is used by many people to mean many things, and that's understandable. It's an ambiguous
Yeah.
word. It has no clear definition. Different people have different definitions of it, and when people refer to a certain thing as God, they're also legitimizing the word God in every other context, right? So someone who says, my God wants those people to die, and you say, give proof of
Hmm.
God's existence. And see, this spiritual person here says that, when you meditate, you find God. They will not meditate, they will not reach that state. They will just use this statement as a justification for their continued belief in whatever they describe as God.
Right.
So I
Right.
think if
Right.
someone wants to describe the meditative state, they can just call it a meditative state, or concentration, something. I don't know and I don't care. Why use the word God? I think it is because in modern times and contemporary times, Eckhart Tolle I've heard of. I have not read his books, but I've heard of. He's a so-called, spiritualist writer of some sort. I think in
Yep.
modern times, it is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the idea that God exists in some kind of religious sense. So, what people are doing is they're trying to redefine the word God so that their religions can survive. And
Hmm.
this meditation variety of religiosity is helping them. I have no problem with meditation. If someone is helped by meditation, by all means, go ahead and do it. But I have a problem when meditation and meditative states and all that is used as justification to continue believing in God. Because there is no way we can
Agree.
justify it, right? No way we can verify it. What you experience after meditation might be different from what I experience as meditation. At the end of the day, it just boils down to what you say and what I say, and what who people believe more. So that is my
Very true.
point.
That's what. That's what. So what I was trying to say here was that why are we so why are we relating spiritualism with God and religion?
Hmm.
Let it be something. I mean, because the moment we try to relate it with God and religion, it is put in the same bracket like this superstition or
Hmm.
paranormal or God, it comes
Hmm.
in that same bracket that
Hmm.
and some people now it's becoming a fashion to say I'm not religious but I am
I'm
spiritual.
spiritual, yeah. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
but
There is no clear
yeah,
definition of God and there is no clear
yeah,
definition of spiritual. So people happily mix them around and come up with things that they personally like and then they just call it spiritual.
exactly. But if we see this if we see spirituality as a standalone or we try
Hmm.
to dwell into it,
Hmm.
I find it, as a concept that it is something which is really profound, and it has nothing to do with religion, God, or something. It is just a way or a better way to deal with your stress, your anxiety, or maybe a better control on your mind.
Hmm. And there are
This is
better ways
how
of doing that,
I
right?
look at it.
Therapy is
Yeah.
a good way of doing that. Like, I
Yes.
think one
Yes.
of the main reasons
Absolutely.
religion survives is that therapy is expensive. If therapy was freely available to everyone, religion would not exist.
But religion could also be expensive.
It can be, but if
Yeah.
it is based on false claims about reality, or at least
Hmm.
unfalsifiable claims about reality, then it's not solving the problem, right? It's only making things worse.
Yeah. What I meant by religion is it could be expensive is like if a person is suffering from stress or depression, instead of
Hmm.
going to uh, a therapist, he might go to a Brahmin or a temple, and
Hmm.
then he might give him some, you do this puja, you pay me uh,
Yeah.
some 10,000 rupees, and you'll be all right.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that
in that
happens. But
sense,
in doing that, they're also legitimizing the religion, legitimizing the caste system, and all of those have net negative value towards society. So just because
right.
something is useful in one particular limited context does not mean that its practice continuing is not bad in the broader sense.
Hmm.
Yeah. A much better way would be to go to therapists.
Absolutely, that's right.
Yeah.
I agree with
Great.
you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Harish. Thank you.
thank you,
Bye
Vimoh. Nice
bye.
speaking to you.
Nice
Bye.
speaking with you also. Please do come back. Bye bye.
Sure. Thank you. Bye.
राइट सो यहाँ क्यू में थोड़ा अप एंड डाउन हो गया आई थिंक अ कपल ऑफ पीपल हैव डिसअपियर्ड आई डोंट नो व्हाट हैपेंड ओके सो हियर इज रजत हाय रजत
Hello, Vimoh, can you hear me?
आई कैन हियर यू गो ऑन
Yeah, it's been some days since I've talked about this. I wanted to discuss the nuanced difference between belief and knowledge, especially in the
ओके
context of atheism and agnosticism.
ओके
And to be specific, both atheism deal with personal belief about the existence of God, right?
नो
Whereas, okay,
लाइक व्हेन यू से दैट डील विद पर्सनal belief what do you mean by that
so theism and atheism are about personal belief about the existence of God.
no so let me make my position clear before you get ahead because usually what happens is that people come and they're talking about someone else's definition of atheism. My
Sure.
position is that I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't know if God or gods exist, and therefore, because there is no evidence, I have no reason to believe in it.
Yeah, yeah.
People who
Okay.
make the claim that God exists, the burden of proof is on them. They have to provide evidence for it.
Let me.
So, I don't believe that God does not exist. I simply reject the claim that theists make that God exists because I don't have any evidence.
Okay, let me complete my question.
Okay.
So I'm talking about theism and atheism dealing with beliefs rather, and instead agnosticism dealing with knowledge. Right? So agnosticism deals with
I'm
the.
not completely sure I understand what you mean, but I will let you finish your argument and then we'll talk about it. Go on.
So agnosticism deals with agnostic. When you say you when people say they're agnostic, they talk
Hmm.
about having a lack of knowledge about the existence of God.
Yeah.
So my point is that theism and atheism deal with beliefs, whereas agnosticism deals with knowledge. So there's
Okay. Yeah. In that
important.
respect, yeah. Yeah.
So there's this important difference between knowledge and belief, And
Hmm.
since we're talking about a concept of God which is largely unfalsifiable,
Hmm.
I fail to register what's the meaning of knowledge, and how is it different from belief. At what point do we say something is knowledge and something is belief, in at least in these sensitive matters like this?
You do think that knowledge and belief are different, right?
Yeah,
So
but
why are you asking me?
I would just like to get some more important some more insights about this, because in many situations the line between belief and knowledge is very blurry.
I can you give me an example of a situation where the line is blurry?
um let's say I meet a friend,
Hmm.
and they told me that they were walking down the road and
Hmm.
they got robbed yesterday.
Okay.
Should that be considered as belief or knowledge? And this is just a
You,
very
you
trivial
know, you don't know if your friend is telling the truth, but you do know that that is what they said to you.
Yeah, but if you were to, let's say, testify in the court.
You will say that my friend told me this. Were
Oh,
you there? No. Do you know for sure? No, because my friend told me this. I have no reason to disbelieve my friend because there is no reason my friend would lie to me. And my friend does not have a history of lying to me. So I am reasonably confident that my friend did not lie to me. But I was not there. And my friend told me that they got robbed. So that's what I'm going to testify to. I am sure that my friend told it to me. Even though I'm not 100% sure that it did happen, I can testify with 100% certainty that my friend did tell this to me. Correct?
yeah. And what do you think should happen in, in unfalsifiable matters like the claims about God, the existence of God?
Wait,
Can
are
there
you
be
the
any
one who
concept
in
of?
the private? Are you the one who was talking about unfalsifiability in the private chat?
No, I was not. I
That
think.
was Danish. Okay. Anyway, Danish is next. Danish is okay. Danish is not next, but he's on the queue. Go on.
Yeah. So, can there be any concept of the knowledge of God, existence of God, in, because we cannot even know what can be known about God, right?
That would depend on who's making the claim and the nature of the claim.
No, the claim is simple. The God exists.
Okay. So give me a definition of God.
Let's consider let's consider Abrahamic God.
Okay.
Yeah, if someone says that they know either the existence or the non-existence of God, like how do
How
we?
I would ask them how they know.
Hmm. Yeah, so basically there can be no idea, there can be nothing about the knowledge about this claim, right? So there's no meaning of knowledge about this matter. It's
No,
only
no.
a matter of
Hold on,
belief.
hold on, hold on, hold on. You said that this person said that they know that God exists, right?
Uh,
So I would be stuck at that point. How do they know?
yeah, so yeah, exactly. I would also do that. But
Hmm.
then the point is, can there be any reasonable person who would claim that they have knowledge about this? Because I was looking at the chart, the difference between agnosticism and atheism. I was
Hmm.
looking at that quadrant, four
Hmm.
quadrants,
Hmm.
and agnostic atheists are those who don't know
Yeah.
and they don't claim,
Don't believe. Yeah.
don't believe. Yes, and there were also agnostic theists and
Yeah.
atheists, right?
Gnostic atheist. Or
Gnostic,
yeah. Yeah.
Gnostic theists and Gnostic. Yeah, all four combinations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if the matter is about I mean, if we're talking about an unfalsifiable thing,
Hmm.
entity like God,
Hmm.
then what, like, how are those people justified? Like, how are those people's beliefs justified who are Gnostic
I
atheists?
I'm personally of the opinion that they're not justified.
Okay.
Like I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't know and I therefore do not believe. If a religious person says I know that God exists, I would ask them, how do you know? If an atheist of the Gnostic variety comes and says, I know that there is no God, I would still ask them, how do you know this? How can you know this?
Yeah.
If an agnostic theist exists, agnostic theists, by the way, are most probably people who describe themselves as spiritual but not religious, who say that I don't know if God exists, but I believe that God exists. In that case, I can't ask them how they know, but my question to them would be, why do you believe God exists?
Yeah,
And
so
then that
belief,
conversation can be longer.
yeah, and belief is something that you cannot do much about beliefs, but we're talking
Yeah.
about knowledge. So I'm still thinking, can there be anyone who would know for sure? When they claim that they
I
know.
see, I don't know if there can be anyone who can know for sure, which is why I would not say that you don't know. I would ask, how do you know? Maybe they can give me some method that they used in order to find out. But for the most part, I don't think anyone has ever demonstrated uh, sufficient grounds for knowing that God exists or does not exist.
And okay, yeah, um, mostly on the same grounds as you. But
Okay.
even if we extend this concept to general matters,
Hmm.
uh, general concepts. For example, we in many cases, let's talk about some scientific concepts.
Hmm.
Let's talking about for beginning. Let's talk about germ theory or something
Hmm.
like even
Hmm.
Big Bang.
Yeah.
When we say we know about this, we come
Hmm.
to know this through books
Hmm.
or maybe people around us. We have not done the research behind this, and I think this same topic had been discussed last week as well, where
I
we don't.
Last week we were talking about social media.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
So the idea is that we don't do all of the things that would qualify as knowledge. But let's say we don't do the actual research. We do only a specific part of research.
Hmm.
In that case, when we hear something from let's say our elders, friends, experts, teachers, whatever,
Hmm.
should that qualify as belief or should that qualify as knowledge?
It should qualify as reasonable amounts of confidence, I think. Like, for example, germ theory. If someone told you that germs exist and you said, how do you know? They said, I just know it.
Yeah, exactly.
We will not take them seriously. But they will say, yeah, pick up that microscope and look at this. Right? Germ theory, like for the Big Bang, at least you will have to go to a university,
Yeah, I was
right?
going to
There is
come
no
to
direct
that.
way of observing it. But germ theory is clearly very, like, there is a set method using which you can verify the existence of germs.
Mhm.
And you can actually use it. Like right now, you can use it if you have a microscope in order to verify it.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe the germ theory was a relatively simple one because we can
Hmm.
directly verify that.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you think about something that happens on large scales, unimaginable scales, like with the Big Bang or
Hmm.
other cosmological phenomena,
Yeah.
in that
There are
case,
still there are still methods and methodologies that have been noted down by scientists throughout the ages, using which they have come to the conclusion that the Big Bang is something that is supposed to have happened.
right.
You can look at all the data, you can do all the research for yourself, and you can come to the same conclusion, at least mathematically. Or you may find certain holes in it, which is why we still call it a model. If
Um,
tomorrow something else turns up which significantly disrupts the Big Bang model, we'll stop believing in it. And we will believe whatever the evidence shows then.
yeah. So you're talking about belief then, right? If we
I
study,
said, no, I'm not talking about belief in the way that I talk about belief in God, because in the case of God, there is absolutely no evidence. For Big Bang, there is a model. This thing exists here, this thing exists here. Here is a model about how these two connect, and if this connection is true, then it must be here that this thing must have happened. And all these things correlate with each other and they work well together.
and for someone for general people, if
Hmm.
we have two books in front of us, and one of them is where it talks about the verity of the Big Bang model as much as we know it,
Hmm.
and the other one talks about some spiritual phenomena.
Hmm.
In that case, let's say the existence of demons or existence of God, for that matter.
Yeah,
In that case, we're reading both the books, and we're calling one knowledge, the other one belief. Is that correct?
you can verify one of them
Yeah.
and
So
the other one you can't.
the only distinction between a stimulus we receive from either a book or a person or someone, and then call that knowledge, is
Can you
that
repeat that? Can you repeat that?
the only distinction
Hmm.
between a stimulus that is verifiable, whose
Hmm.
information is verifiable
Hmm.
through other means, not directly by you. but through other means. You're calling that knowledge, correct?
I think that was half a sentence. The only difference between a stimulus provided by this and the other, which was the other one?
The other one is whom for which there exists no evidence,
Okay.
such as a spiritual claim.
Yeah, so that's not actually, that's a claim. If the Big Bang was only a claim, there would be no grounds to believe in it. But the Big Bang is more than a claim. There is a claim, and then there is a model that supports that claim, and then there is the mathematics to verify it. So you have
Yeah.
three things on one side
Yeah.
and zero things on the other side.
Yeah.
So
So
reasonable amounts of confidence can be applied to this thing.
okay, so knowledge is not the distinction between knowledge and belief then becomes reasonable amounts of confidence. Is that verifiable confidence? Let's say.
Reasonable amounts of confidence based on verifiable, demonstrable evidence.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
I don't know if I would want to. I don't know if you're writing this down. I don't know if I want to present this as the definitive definition of knowledge and belief. But
No,
I'm only answering the questions that you have asked.
no, it's interesting because I had this debate long time back, like multiple years back, with a friend, and we had a discussion about evolution, and our discussion boiled down to the distinction between belief and fact.
Okay.
And that's why I'm coming here years later to discuss.
Okay.
It. But
No,
yeah,
there is
maybe
another point here also. There is a scientific establishment. There are recognized scientific journals, etc. And there are topical experts, like people who are experts in cosmology or geology or germ theory, for example. And we largely have not been disappointed with them as far as depiction of reality is concerned. So imagine someone comes to your doorstep every day and drops a 10 rupee note and goes away, right? Uh, One day you are late and you don't see them drop the 10 rupee note, but the 10 rupee note is there and you think they must have dropped it before I came. One day you don't see a 10 rupee note and you will come to the conclusion, okay, maybe they didn't come today, maybe something else happened, maybe they dropped the 10 rupee note but and went away and somebody else took it or something. But their record by and large instills confidence in you, correct?
yeah.
So with the scientific establishment, the thing is that sure, there are occasional misfires, there are occasional misdiagnosis happens, but by and large, whatever models we have to explain reality, the Big Bang model, gravity, all of these work well together. Like they plug into each other well. There are some aspects of science which are like edge cases where we don't know the full truth, like quantum mechanics, for example. But by and large, it is reasonable to think that the scientific establishment is working to unravel the secrets of the universe or the secrets of reality. So, sure, if it was the case that every single theory they gave us proved to be some broken in some way, then there will be less confidence. But for the most part, it all works together. So there is less reason to think that it is false and more reason to think that it is true.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good. All right.
Thanks, Rajat. Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right.
So that was Rajat. Then there is Danish. Abhi Danish, then Appu, then Shubham and Ganesh. Just remind me of the order if I forget it. Hi, Danish.
Hi Vimoh, am I
Hi.
audible?
Yes, you're audible. ये क्या हैकर वाला
Man,
डिस्प्ले पिक्चर लगा रखा है?
no man, it's a programmer picture actually.
अच्छा, ओके ओके. हुडी क्यों
हाँ
लगाते हैं सब लोग?
हाँ जी
हुडी क्यों लगाते हैं प्रोग्रामर हमेशा? सर्दी लगती है.
पता नहीं.
I remember
So
I joined an office some time ago where my job was to be a script writer. I had the hoodie up all the time because it was very cold, and the tech department thought I worked with them. Go on.
yeah man. So I was actually having a conversation with my brother
Hmm.
regarding atheism and religion. So
Hmm.
he made a point that why don't you consider God, the idea of God, as a hypothesis? So I introduced him with the idea of unfalsifiability as
Hmm.
obvious. So he said something in particular that really caught my mind. He said, man, if we really think about it, quantum mechanics is also unfalsifiable, don't you think so? Because it is paradoxical in nature, but still we believe in it. So isn't it unfalsifiable?
Unfalsifiable. What aspect of it?
Because he
No, you
literally
can do
said,
experiments, right? You can do double slit experiments to come to at least the conclusion that this is happening consistently. I don't know
so he
what you
gave
mean
me an
by quantum
example.
mechanics.
For
Huh?
example, he gave me the EPR paradox. Einstein actually proposed that this superposition, of the entanglement process, the
Hmm.
quantum that many people use,
Hmm.
there is entanglement in quantum mechanics.
Hmm.
So originally, Einstein actually proposed this entanglement as a way of, falsifying the quantum mechanics. He said because
Yeah.
there is entanglement, so it
Hmm.
actually opposes the initial, assumptions of say Heisenberg.
Hmm.
Heisenberg said you cannot actually predict the momentum and position of a particle at the same time.
Hmm.
But Einstein said because two particles are entangled, I can
Hmm.
actually determine both the position and the momentum of the particle
Has there
at the
not been
same time.
some? Has there not been some more recent development on this front?
Not that I've
Very
know of.
recently, this year, the person who won the Nobel Prize, did that not have something to do with this?
No, not really. He was actually it was actually different.
Hmm.
So I mean that was a different story. What I'm
Hmm.
saying of is the entanglement thing. And the entanglement actually, if we think about it, it was originally proposed to actually violate the quantum mechanics. But now if we search about entanglement, we will see it as a property of quantum mechanics.
Hmm.
Now it
So
is
what's
actually,
got it? What's the
so
point?
isn't it paradoxical?
How's it paradoxical?
Because
Is it
Einstein proposed it.
does entanglement happen?
I think so.
Right. So what is
I don't know.
paradoxical about it?
Paradoxical is that it actually opposes the initial, postulates of the quantum theory. That position, the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle that
Right.
started
So
the quantum mechanics.
there is some weirdness that happens with quantum physics that I have heard of and you've heard of. Are either of us experts in quantum mechanics?
No, but actually, I'm studying it and I'm
Right.
trying
So
to
you know
study it.
more about it than I do. So if you want to have this conversation with someone, maybe you should have it with someone who knows about quantum mechanics. I'm not that person. I am
Okay.
aware of the fact that there are certain inconsistencies between quantum mechanics, the quantum model, like what we consider to be physics in the relativistic model and physics in the quantum physics model. There are certain inconsistencies. I'm pretty sure people are working on it. I'm pretty sure there are mysteries that even they don't understand completely. Whenever they understand it completely, I will understand it more, and maybe then we can have this conversation. But right now, I
Do
am
you know
not in a position
actually?
to.
Do
Hmm?
you know actually physics is divided into two groups now. Some
Hmm?
people actually say particle physics has been paradoxical and we completely got it wrong. So they're starting again from
Danish,
scratch.
I'm not the person to have this conversation with.
This actually started with the idea of God. I was trying to have a conversation with my brother.
Huh,
I was
so talk
actually
about that.
trying to
Talk about that.
I was actually trying to make sense to him and make him kind of atheist,
Hmm?
introduce him to atheistic beliefs.
Hmm?
So, but he actually pointed to this. So
Hmm?
that is why it got me thinking.
What does this have to do with God?
He
Like
said, since quantum mechanics is unfalsifiable,
even if quantum mechanics is unfalsifiable, how does it prove God?
I know, but it actually, just caught me off guard.
No, I mean, some time ago there was this guy who said, "I can prove evolution is false," and I'm like, A, you can't, and B, even if you could, how would it prove that God exists?
Yes, yes.
Right? Yeah.
Hmm. Actually, man, I also wanted to have another, you know, I just completely forgot the question. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second.
Okay, I'll remove you from the screen and go on to Appu. And when you remember,
No,
I'll bring you back after
and wait,
Appu, and
wait,
then
wait, wait, man, wait. I
okay.
got it. So actually, I wanted to talk with you about the nervousness that I currently am having while talking to you in English. Actually, I mean, in I mean, in English classes, I'm actually quite good at vocabulary. But now, as I'm currently talking to you, it's
Hmm.
very hard to, just.
It's okay.
I
Take
mean,
your
I,
time.
I just can't bring my vocabulary. I just completely forget things. So
Okay.
I'm asking for you. Actually, I'm asking for a favor. Can I actually come to your stream for like weekly basis and have a talk with you?
You can come whenever I'm live. Like there is no like if you don't come every week, I'm not going to call your home and said, "Kahan gaya Danish?" Whenever I'm live and there is space, come. If there is time, we'll talk.
Okay, man. Thank you.
Cool. Chalo. Bye bye.
Bye.
Next is Appu. Hi Appu.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, is politics allowed? So can I speak on that?
Ah, sure.
You know what? I think Sanghis are not stupid. Contrary to accepted notions, I think that Sanghis are not idiots. Instead, they just have animalistic passions. When they throw water bottle at every blunder of Modi, often stupidly, they are not trying to refute you or defend Modi. They are actually flexing their muscles that they can act stupid and yet you can't do anything about it. They will cite Kashmiri Pandits to justify
Hold on,
humanity
hold on,
against.
hold on, hold on, Apu. So why do you say this? I'm not saying I
Uh,
disagree with you. I agree with you that they're not stupid, but what is the source? Like, what is the point you're trying to make?
because I was once uh, of that breed.
Acha, how old are you, Apu? If you don't mind me asking.
18.
And when were you a Sanghi?
I think late 2020. I think when that COVID happened and the
2 years.
sudden bombardment of yeah
Okay. So you were a
uh,
Sanghi at 16.
yeah actually my uncle is an RSS man and he has worked with big shots in BJP. So
Okay. Okay.
the first time I visited a Shaka was when I was 7 or 8. RSS
Oh, wow.
RSS Shaka.
Wow.
And a lot of people who actually mm, actually played with me in childhood are children of today union ministers. I don't want to take the names, but yeah, they are big shots.
Hmm.
But then now I understand that I was wrong.
Yeah.
And actually I now think that let me just complete this. Okay, they will cite Kashmiri Pandits to justify inhumanity against any social groups. Yet they
Hmm.
know that Kashmiri Pandits are educated, well-to-do, have affirmative action support from the state, have
Hmm.
300 crore plus box office collection, and crimes against them they were not state sponsored. Most importantly, unlike in the
I
case
don't
of
think. I don't think. See, uh, violence against the well-to-do and violence against the not well-to-do is both violence.
no, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
But
so
yeah,
we can't. Let me
no,
finish.
I am not trying
My
to. I'm okay.
let me finish. Let me finish. I know what you're trying to say. I'm saying ki yes, if you want to talk about the plight of the Kashmiri Pandits, there are very good grounds to do it. But
Yeah.
we should be careful when Sanghis do it because they're not doing it with honest intentions. They're just trying to
Yes.
hijack someone's suffering in order to use for their own political gains.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
They are hypocrites, but that's the point. They can afford to be hypocrites because
Hmm.
they have the power now. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to say.
Hmm.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Apu. Thank you for joining. Bye bye. Next is Shubham and then Ganesh, and then this live stream will be over. Hi, Shubham. A
Hi,
dark
Vimoh.
night.
Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, you're audible. Go on.
Vimoh, first of all, I want to appreciate you and Pranav for what you do at YouTube and Instagram.
Thanks, man.
I mean, I've been following your page at Instagram, and the content you create is just good. I really like your content.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question was that actually I wanted to discuss on the topic that is being agnostic atheist enough? Why can't we? Be educated morally. I mean, can we add morals to that also, like principles, morals? Like for example, taking the religion Buddhism, it is based on morals, right? On
Hmm.
principles, not rules,
I
but
think
it's principles.
I think every religion is based on some conception of morality. In some
Yes.
religions, it tends to be horrid. In some religions, it tends to be less horrid. But Acha, I want to understand what you mean when you say, is being agnostic atheist enough? Should we add morals to it? Do you mean that atheism should have a value system attached to it?
Value system. I mean, the fact that just not believing in God is not enough to live a life. That's what I mean.
That's true. I agree. In fact, मैंने इसके ऊपर पहले से लाइव स्ट्रीम किया हुआ है. There was this live stream long ago, maybe around episode 70 or something, where I said atheism के बारे में, when we talk to people, all we are telling them is that there is no reason to believe in God. But we are not telling them what they should replace religion with, because many people's lives are full of religious ideas. So if you ask them one fine day, hey, let go of all of this, they're going to be really confused, right? They won't know what to do. Like, where do I go for community? Where do I go for values? Where do I go for this and that? So atheism, I don't think talk about atheism is sufficient in order to inculcate secular thinking. But I am not convinced that the alternative is to give people a religion, because almost every religious outlook will get toxic at some point.
Yes, this is because people kind of impose their religion on other people.
Hmm.
That's what I think when you said religion will get toxic at some point.
No, I think religion will get toxic because power is a thing that exists in human society.
Yes,
Suppose
yes.
some people want to get powerful. They will take a look at what religion is followed by most people, and they will try to weaponize it against people who are not from that religion. In India, that's what's happening with Hinduism. In certain other countries, that's what's happening with Christianity. In certain other countries, that's what's happening with Islam. So the point is actually not religion. The point is power. And if we are to work towards the goal that people should be equal in human society, we should keep that in mind, that the end result is not going to be achieved simply by saying God does not exist. It is going to be achieved by creating equality.
Yes, yes. Even if it looks unrealistic, our aim should be to establish an equal society. That's what Dr. V.R. Ambedkar said.
Yeah. Yep.
So, actually, I wanted to talk to you about Buddhism just because I read that book, Buddha and His Dhamma, written by Baba Sahib.
Hmm.
I was just that book made me think. Just
I actually, I'll just be clear. I have not read that particular book, but go on.
I was just made to think when I read that book. I mean, before I had no clarity about anything. Like I had no principles, I had no morals, I had
Hmm.
no what are. I mean, there are some fundamental morals in Buddhism.
Hmm.
There are no such as rules. There are principles. It teaches you compassion. It teaches you a lot of stuff, which I was not exposed to when I was in my childhood. Now I am 21 years old.
Okay.
So nobody gave me that exposure. So I had read that book, and that book made me think. That book really made me think. The first book which I read was Annihilation of Caste,
Hmm.
written by Baba Sahib. Then I've read Buddha and His Dhamma. Those are the only two books that I've read. Those two books have just made me think. I've
Hmm.
never read any book entirely dedicated book in my life. Only two books I've read.
Okay.
But those are the two books that really made me think about Indian society, about a religion, or what you need as a human being. I think you need something that should guide you. Being agnostic atheist is just not enough.
No, I agree that atheism is not enough. If the goal is an equal society, then atheism is
Yes.
not enough. But atheism, see, if this is a war, then atheism is one front in this war. It will not create an equal society by itself. But what it can do is it can devalue religion, and it can help break down the barriers between people that religion creates. So, in that respect, it is useful.
Yeah, and also I think that as human beings we should appreciate and promote rationality and
हाँ,
just
we should, but rational उसका तो problem ये है कि people don't even agree on the definition of rationality.
I mean, how do they not agree upon that
Like there will be
definition?
Christian people who say that I'm a Christian rationalist, and there are many rationalists in India who believe in God. There are many rationalists who call themselves Hindu atheists. So that
Okay.
I spoke about this in the beginning of this episode in case you were not here. So maybe when the episode is available on the channel, you can go back and listen to it. But is there
So
any other point,
basically,
Shubham?
no, I was just wanted to talk about this. So I
Cool.
just thank you to let me in. Thanks for
Sorry?
letting me in. Thanks
Oh,
for
okay.
letting me in.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Now the last caller, Ganesh. Before I take Ganesh, let me just tell people that as you can see on the screen, all the episodes of the podcast are available as audio at www.vimoh.in. Merch like t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, etc. are available at kadakmerch.com/Vimoh live. That's kadakmerch.com/Vimoh live. And also, if you want to support this channel, you can do so at patreon.com/Vimoh. If you don't want to do a monthly or an annual scheme, you can simply go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and click the support button there. You can make a one-time donation of whatever amount of any amount of your choice. I'm an independent podcaster. Uh, if you it's using your money that this channel survives. So whatever you can, please do. I use the money to pay bills, to buy books, and to buy software. So thanks in advance to everyone who has decided to contribute. And with that, I go over to the last caller, who is Ganesh. Hi, Ganesh.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hi, Ganesh. Don't call me sir.
Okay, I can call you Vimoh, right?
Yes, yes. Just call me Vimoh.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting me in, and have watched some of your episodes, and I really like these rational thoughts coming to Indian sphere, like Pranav and you, sir. But the problem is, uh, first I have two questions, sir. The first question is,
Mhm.
why do we have to even think about God? We are not thinking about Shah Rukh Khan in Neptune doing backflips, right? We are not thinking about that. We are not believing about that. Why we have to first think about God? The only the rationale I have found is, we for our insecurities, we try to believe in God, for a savior, for this kind of things. So when the man believes in himself, then the God will come out of the picture. And the other thing is, problem with materialism, sir. Even a scientific method slash material. This is my second question. We have this rigid idea, like a materialist can't think there is something like, consciousness can give rise to materialism, or materialism, they only think the other way around, like the neurons can give the firing of the neurons at random times can give consciousness, but consciousness won't affect the material things. So if we fall into that rigid model, we can't be open to do new thought experiments or new experiments. Our scientific progress will be hindered by the scientific method which we are following, this materialistic mindset. I think we have to be open to that. We rationalists have to open about that thing. We can't just
Ganesh,
be yeah.
can I just pause you for a second and just ask you,
Yeah,
just so I can be sure that I understood you clearly. You're saying that the materialistic worldview says that consciousness is the result of neurons firing.
random firing. Yeah.
No, it's not random. Nobody says that neurons are firing randomly.
So, random in the sense, sir, there is no a particular area in the brain that is responsible for consciousness. The first thing
We
is that.
don't. Yeah, so that is clear. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, why would you say that we won't be able to do experiments if we don't stop thinking in material terms?
Sir, we will be restricted by that ideology, that materialistic ideology.
No, but then what other if you're saying that the material, like I wouldn't use the word ideology, but I'll just use it because you're using it. If material ideology is not sufficient to explain consciousness, then what is?
Nothing. We have to be open about it. That's what I'm saying. We don't want to be
You're saying
we don't want. Yeah, we don't have to believe in idealism and all these kind of things. My point is, we just have to be open to anything, open to any any idea. So if we are bound in this materialistic materialistic domains, the scientist or scientist can do, if scientists are in such a mindset where they have that rigid mindset, our scientific progress will be,
I think this rigid mindset thing is mostly false, and it is promoted by people who have religious access to grind, because it is far more likely that if you give a scientist evidence to follow, they will follow it. Nobody is going to say, oh, there is evidence, but I'm not going to follow it because I'm committed to materialism. The same can, however, be said about religious people. Even if you give them evidence to the contrary of what they believe in, they will refuse to go in it. There are examples of creationists who have said that no evidence can convince me that God does not exist, that the Bible is not true, or my religious book is not true. That close-minded thing is actually a false thing that is said about scientists by religious people. So we should not be too quick to jump to that conclusion. Secondly, the point is to follow evidence, right? If there is evidence, we should follow it. But if there isn't evidence, simply saying that we should be open to possibilities is neither here nor there. What do I do with it?
Sir, actually, sir, I am doing PhD, sir, from a university,
On what?
psychology.
Okay.
Our department comes under science, science block. So
Yeah.
I used to talk with people from physics, biotech, and all these kind. They are all extreme materialists, or some they can decide for themselves. So those who are the materialists, they are bound in that ideology only. They can't even
Do you,
take.
so when you talk to them, do they say we are materialists, or is that a label you are applying to them?
They say they don't believe in God, and we are just we believe in materialism. So they won't.
They say that they believe in materialism. That's their actual words.
No, not believe. They are materialists. So
yeah, so but that materialist in that respect simply means that they probably, I can't speak for them obviously, but for me, as far as materialism is concerned, I think that the universe is primarily material, and that any explanations for any phenomenon have to be rooted in matter, because we are made of matter, and that every single scientific process that we observe in reality is associated with matter or emerges from matter. That's all. It's not an ideology. It's not a. It's a position that we reach after, looking at reality. It's as simple as that. In order to believe in God, there would need to be evidence for supporting God, right? So I would suggest, like, I think what is happening with you is that you're getting too hung up on the word materialist, and you started thinking of materialism as an ideology, and you're also saying things that religious people usually say. Like they say scientists are close-minded, etc. Don't fall for this shit. It's an age-old propaganda tactic. Don't fall for it. Whenever you're talking to people, make evidence the foundation of your arguments. Whatever you want to think, whatever you want to believe, whatever you want to spread, is there evidence for it? That's it.
Yeah, sir. I'm not religious. I can understand what you're talking about. I'm not that religious, open-minded fellow, but I actually believe in rational and evidence and all these things. But I feel we have to be open, sir. Open in the sense,
to what?
Open to possibilities.
If you open to evidence, yes. Open to any possibility.
Open to evidence.
Because let me say this. If I said that consciousness is a result of tiny little fairy creatures who exist inside our brains, would you be open to it?
No.
Why?
Because you have to make a logical argument regarding that thing.
No,
then
you
only
need to have evidence for it. Logical argument is secondary.
No,
there needs to be evidence for that fairy creature, right? You need to be
Yeah.
able to see it or detect it or measure it in some way.
No, sir. For the evidence, we have to, first we have to make it a model, theory, or proposition. Then we
Yeah.
can come to evidence. But the problem with the materialist, what I am talking about, these, they are rigid, so that they don't even make those models or hypotheses and work towards.
No. I don't think that is true. I do not think that is true. You cannot create models in thin air and expect them to be treated as valid if there is no evidence supporting it. I have had this conversation with someone in the previous atheism hour also. But if I said that there were little fairy creatures inside our brain, even before you make a model, you can simply try to find them, right? Observe them through instrumentation, open a brain and see if there are fairy creatures inside. If there are no fairy creatures, then you don't need to make a model, right?
Yeah.
So evidence should be the foundation of it. It should not be like, if you look, by the way, I don't think you have ever found such a person. But if you find a person who says, I am a materialist, I believe everything must be material, and therefore I will not even look at any other evidence, that person is clearly wrong. But
Yeah, that's what
I think you have not met such a person. You're mostly imagining it. If someone refuses to take a look at evidence, then there is a problem. If someone is simply rejecting models that don't have any evidence to, as a foundation, then there is nothing wrong with you. Models are models, man. I can make a model. You can make a model. I can sit down and write a 15-second science fiction story about the creation of the universe, and it can be done completely logically consistent. That doesn't mean it is true. Models
it can be logically consistent, but according to you, but the people in the scientific community has to agree upon that, and you can do models, but
I can make a model and say that the Big Bang was caused by a cosmic hippopotamus with bat-like wings that exists beyond time and space.
Okay.
Is there any way to disprove it?
No, the thing is, yes, sir. It's your a thing which can be disproved, can't be, probably correct. Unfalsifiability we are coming
Exactly. Yeah. So an unfalsifiable claim is an unfalsifiable claim, and there is no need to take it seriously.
Yep.
But anyway, Ganesh, I'm actually running quite late. It's 1 hour 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. And I will please do come back sometime and we can talk more. Cool?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. That was Ganesh, and we are at the 1 hour 45 minute mark. Today's episode ran a little longer than usual, but yeah, this was fun. And I hope that you all had fun. Today is Saturday. It'll be pretty soon. But the next time I'll see you is on Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. when we will talk about more such stuff. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. I find a lot of people are watching but not subscribing. I don't know why. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all the notifications. By the way, I have left Twitter. I have removed the Instagram app from my phone. I'm only using Instagram from the web, and that too not much. I'm going to use this next year to be completely off social media and see how that goes. This channel will continue to happen, but if you want to be notified about what is happening on this channel, you are going to need to subscribe to this channel so that you get notifications. And having said that, I will now take your leave. Please have a great half a week before I see you again, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.